A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark case that could redefine the balance of power within the U.S. government, the Supreme Court is poised to hear arguments on whether President Trump has the authority to fire independent agency officials without cause. This case, known as Trump versus Slaughter, centers on the president's controversial decision to remove Rebecca Kelly Slaughter from her position at the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. The court's ruling could potentially dismantle long-standing protections that safeguard independent agencies from political interference, a move that has raised concerns among lawmakers and legal experts alike. The controversy began when President Trump, during his second term, sought to fire Slaughter, who had been appointed by him in his first term and later reappointed by President Biden. Trump justified his decision by stating that her continued service was inconsistent with his administration's priorities. However, Slaughter argued that her removal was unlawful, pointing to a federal statute that limits the president's ability to dismiss FTC commissioners to instances of inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office. The case has its roots in a 1935 Supreme Court decision, Humphrey's Executor versus United States, which established that Congress could protect certain independent agency officials from being removed by the president at will. This precedent has been gradually weakened by the court's conservative justices in recent years, including decisions that stripped removal protections from officials at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the Federal Housing Finance Agency. As the Supreme Court prepares to hear the case, legal experts predict that the justices may lean towards expanding presidential power. Brian Fitzpatrick, a law professor at Vanderbilt University, stated, "It's very likely the Supreme Court is going to say that in order for the president to be able to do his job, he has to have control of the people helping him execute those laws." This perspective raises significant implications for the separation of powers and the structure of the federal government. The Trump administration's argument hinges on the assertion that the Constitution grants the president expansive authority over executive officers. Solicitor General D. John Sauer emphasized that removal protections for independent agency members hinder the president's ability to ensure that laws are executed faithfully. He argued that Congress does not have the authority to create a fourth branch of government that limits the president's control over executive power. The stakes are high, as a ruling in favor of the Trump administration could undermine Congress's ability to impose limits on presidential authority. The Supreme Court's decision will not only impact the FTC, but could set a precedent affecting numerous independent agencies that regulate various aspects of American life, from consumer protection to environmental regulations. As the justices prepare to hear arguments, the political landscape remains charged. Many Democrats and some Republicans have expressed concerns about the implications of expanding presidential power, fearing it could lead to increased political pressure on independent agencies that are meant to operate free from partisan influence. The Supreme Court's deliberations on this case come at a time when the balance of power in Washington is under intense scrutiny. With both sides of the aisle watching closely, the outcome of Trump versus Slaughter could reshape the relationship between the executive and legislative branches for years to come. As the nation awaits the court's decision, the debate over the limits of presidential power and the independence of federal agencies is likely to intensify, reflecting the ongoing tensions in American governance. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.